Real Stories Tapes True Crime is your new true crime podcast fix. In our first season, we'll explore suspicious deaths at a California hospital and a skydiver landing dead on a suburban driveway with a bag containing guns, drugs, and night vision goggles. To join our investigation, search and subscribe to Real Stories Tapes True Crime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts.
Shots fired, 36. Shots heard in the area, also getting camera.
America, 2016.
She heard approximately 15 shots fired in the area.
A country that's become increasingly plagued by gun violence and allegations of police brutality. Forces that are tearing the country apart. One of the worst afflicted places, Chicago, America's third city, and President Obama's adopted hometown.
There have already been over 350 homicides in Chicago this year.
Gun violence in the city is spiraling out of control, while controversy rages over police shootings.
A person down. Our ticket says male.
And the majority of victims, young, black men and women. As Chicago struggles to cope with the carnage, the question is, who is responsible?
They have no respect for our humanity. Those of us who have been kissed by the sun, there appears to be a target on our backs. The police are killing our women and children. The police are killing our women and children.
The Chicago Police Department is under siege. Here and across the US, outrage at black deaths at the hands of cops is at boiling point. In 2015, 306 African Americans were killed by police in America, 8 in Chicago alone.
We want the city to know that we're coming together as a community. We're against neighborhood violence, we're against police violence in any shape, form, or fashion, and we come today to make that be known to the city.
The monthly Police Review Board, a chance for citizens to air their grievances.
It's fairly obvious that people are not only impassioned but also personally connected to the issues at hand. This isn't a group of weekend warriors. This is a group of people who have been personally affected by an issue that is being discussed by the entire country.
The Chicago police, they do not get to be judge, jury, and executioner of our children.
That's right. Let's wrap this up. Hey, look, we got to go on the board meeting because they start at 7:30 on the dot. I definitely want them to hear
My son's supposed to be here right now today, but instead, he's laying over at Mount Hope Cemetery. And y'all don't get no fuck because he wasn't there, one of y'all kids. He wasn't no kin to you all, so y'all don't care.
Mr. Russell? Mr. Russell?
At every board meeting, we go through the same thing, but no solutions ever come out of it. That's the problem.
Has there been any change in your experience?
No,
Nothing.
not yet. When you grow up in these neighborhoods, when you see the police culture, when you witness it firsthand, you get pulled over for no reason, when you see people getting shot, when you see our neighborhoods looking like third world countries and no resources, no opportunities, no jobs, it's regular. It's nothing, you live in it so long, there is no hope. So.
I'm gonna make my comment on my knees, although I bow before no man, because it was on bended knee that Letitia Jones, she was on her knees in a puddle of blood, holding her mother as she took her last breath after Officer Riamo blew a hole through her chest. And Letitia Jones cried out to the Chicago police officer, "Why did you do this to my mother?" And the police officer response was, "Your mother's dead. Get over it." I'm on my knees for Letitia. I'm
I don't know if I've really emotionally prepared myself for what's going to happen while I'm here, because as a black man, when you look around the room and you see people that look just like your family members telling stories about horrific interactions with the police, I have no choice but to imagine my mother's face, or my aunties, or my grandfathers, or my grandmothers. And then suddenly it becomes so much more real.
Chicago police killed 9 people in 2015. All but 1 were black. African Americans account for 1/3 of the city's 3 million residents. They mainly live in the south and west of the city, areas that have some of the highest levels of poverty. Areas like Gresham, where in 2013, preacher Catherine Brown, a volunteer working to improve relationships with the police, was driving home with her 2 children.
How old are your children?
1 year old and 8 years old.
Okay.
We were getting ready to come into our driveway here at this house. The police and I, we met bumper to bumper. The passenger jumps out of the car and say, "Bitch, move that effing car back," and begin to come over towards me in a rage. So immediately when we heard the B, my daughter began to scream at the top of her lung, and it scared me. I locked the door, left the window up, and just grabbed my phone and dialed 911.
I am at my house trying to go in my driveway, and the police is right here threatening me and my children.
The one that was standing in front of me pulls his gun out. I said, "What the F are you reaching for?" And I'm thinking, oh, they finna try to kill me. And the only thing I could think of, you better get you and your kids to safety. So I put that car in reverse and I went as fast as I can out of that alley, trying to go on the front to get witnesses. I said, if they kill me, they ain't gonna kill me and my kids in this alley. They gonna kill us in front of everybody.
I have my children in the car, and it's
Oh my God, she's crashed into you. Absolutely.
And you know, it's me and my 2 little babies in that car.
Yeah, I'm asking for help. Y'all come look. She's spraying.
Spraying the baby?
And he's laughing about that.
They've just thrown you off the bonnet onto the floor there, right?
And they drugged me across the car. It was unbelievable.
When you talk to your children about it now, particularly the 8-year-old, what does she say about what happened to you all?
She wants to move out of Chicago. She hates Chicago. And she's afraid of the police.
Well, the last people that you should be scared of are the police. They're there to protect you.
You would think so, especially the type of person I was in the community. I was a volunteer and liaison between the community and the police to bring unity and support. Try to help both sides understand one another and get along. But in that role, I got treated like nothing.
Following the incident, Catherine was prosecuted on charges including aggravated battery, assault, and 2 counts of attempted murder. She was found guilty of reckless conduct. All other charges were dropped. Cases of police brutality have been hogging the headlines in Chicago. And after an official request, the Chicago Police Department declined to take part in this film. But there might just be a way in. Across town, in a wide area of the city, some bikers are gathering. But these aren't Hell's Angels. They're off-duty cops and supporters.
I'm not going to pretend that as a young black man growing up in London, I've had the best experiences with the police, because I haven't. You know, I've done all right for myself since I was quite young, and when you're a teenager driving a nice car in London and you happen to be black, things aren't fun. So my experiences with the police aren't brilliant. So going into this, I don't feel massively comfortable. I don't feel that I'm going to be particularly welcomed. And I'm a little paranoid, if I'm honest. This is where my nerves go up to 10 at the moment. Kind of outnumbered. Hello. How you doing? How you doing, sir? You all right? Nice to meet you. This is a pretty impressive set of wheels you got here.
Thank you. Well, I'm a Wild Pig, which is a 100% police motorcycle club.
Just how safe is it policing a city like Chicago?
It depends on the area you're in. I mean, it's got its dangerous areas. I mean, anywhere in any part of the nation, being a police officer is dangerous. You know, we all do the same job. There's bad guys everywhere. You never know who you're pulling over. A lot of people criticize us, especially what's happening with the shootings that have happened here in Chicago, the police-involved shootings.
Incredible. Hey, how you doing, man? How you doing?
No recording, please.
That's okay. Hey, how you doing? Hello?
So who's in charge here with you guys?
We're a team. Yeah, nice to meet you guys. Hey. So we've been here for about 3 or 4 minutes, and we're quite quickly approached by a couple of officers who've asked us to stop shooting and sort of establish our reasons for being here now. We've been allowed to continue shooting because the guys are aware that we are trying to get their story and their experience as to what it is to police a city like Chicago, but we've also been asked to stay away from some of the more sensitive subject matter, such as police brutality and the things that might have come up in the press.
The event is a memorial for cops killed in the line of duty. In the last 10 years, 9 Chicago police officers have been fatally shot. Sandy Wright's father, a cop, was shot and killed while working in Gresham.
He was actually just got off of work, and he saw some kids out in front of a store where he used to patrol, and he was talking to one of the gangbangers and telling them to disperse. And 2 kids who were at a funeral that day seeking vengeance on another gangbanger went to shoot the kid next to my dad, but they ended up shooting my dad. So my dad was 6'3", white, and Gresham's all black. So it's so devastating that it rips families apart because it's so tragic. It's not like they were sick. They went to work, and you just expect that they're going to come home.
Do you think that the police have been misrepresented by the news and by the media over here?
They don't go to work saying, today I think I'm going to shoot somebody. That's the last thing that they want to do. But it's so violent now, and no one's really supporting them. They only show portions of what actually happened. They don't show you that that kid was a career criminal, and eventually they would have died. If not by the police's hands, by their own kind, the gangbangers. So it's not the police. The police are outgunned right now.
Prayer is our Father. We hear the news, we see their pictures.
Correctional Officer Adam Conrad, Sergeant Jason Goodling, Deputy Sheriff Derek Gear, Trooper Sean E. Cullen, Officer Nathan Taylor, Police Officer Gerald Wright, Chicago PD.
So at this time, I want to thank her and everyone for at this time, I'd like to release the balloons in honor of those fallen.
It really does feel as though there are people dying on both sides of this argument, this debate, whatever you want to call it. And I think the problem is that everybody feels like they're the victim of this situation. And I don't think enough people are actually asking, well, what role do we play in the problem?
Police brutality in Chicago might be in the spotlight, but there's a much bigger problem when it comes to the overall number of shootings in the city. Last year, 23 people were shot by police, 9 fatally. At the same time, there were almost 2,500 black-on-black shootings, of which over 350 were fatal.
In Chicago, over the weekend, 8 were killed, 55 were wounded.
These are numbers that sound like a war zone, like Afghanistan or Syria.
Most of the shootings are in the African-American areas of the city. The majority of the victims are young black men. With someone shot on average every 2 hours, the daily news in Chicago is full of stories of gun crime.
I'm trying to find a gentleman by the name of Peter. Now, he is a journalist. He goes out searching for the story, and the stories that he's searching for are the stories of gun crime, the stories of violence, and generally the sort of thing that you don't go looking for. Well, he's the sort of journalist who does. I think this is Peter now. Peter, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Very good, thank you, very good. So what's your night looking like then? Do you know what you're about to get yourself into at any time? Or?
No, so we're just gonna listen to the scanners and see what happens. Cell phones, you know, Twitter, find out a lot of stuff on Twitter.
All right, so you're basically using things that just anybody can get their hands on?
Yeah, it's just a little handheld radio.
Okay. So what channels are you plugged into here? Is it police channels?
Yeah, there's fire too, we can listen to that.
Is that legal?
Yeah.
You're allowed to
It doesn't transmit, it's over public airwaves. So what we do is, like, we listen for shootings, and it's plain English. They don't speak in 10 codes like they do on, like, TV too much.
Right.
So they'll say, like, you know, we gotta call if a person shot, a person with a gun, or a gang disturbance, or whatever it is, and we just kind of listen for what's going on, and if something happens, we go to it.
Well, I guess I'm rolling with you tonight. Should we make a move?
Yeah, let's go.
Chicago has some of the strictest firearm laws in America. There are no gun shops in the city, and yet, in 2015, police seized over 6,000 illegal guns smuggled in from neighboring states.
Shots fired, shots fired. Squad, get an ambulance over here, squad.
So I've been with you for all the 2 minutes and there's already shots fired.
Yeah.
You have fire rolling over there. We've got numerous calls with fire rolling.
What does fire rolling mean?
It means
What's that?
It means they're sending paramedics. So that's police getting to where they gotta go to, but...
Are we going to the same place as that car?
Yeah.
06 Charlie, how many people do you have? How many GSWs do you have over there?
She's saying, how many GSWs do you have over? One person shot right now. Because the first calls were saying people shot. There's people shot in the alley.
Right.
Can't tell if there's more coming up behind them. And there's been shots fired calls there all night. So...
There's a lot of officers.
There is.
All right.
By the time we arrive, the victim has already been rushed to hospital in critical condition. All that's left at the scene are cops. And they're not talking.
There's no way of knowing what actually went down here. This is clearly a shady bit of town. And if something shady was going to happen, I mean, this is a perfect place for it. I think we might now be in a... Am I now officially in a crime scene? All right, I see. So it looks like a lot of the officers have started to leave.
So all they have right now is that this kid got shot.
Man, and just like that, they're all gone.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's here. We're the
Right.
last ones here, and it's been 5 minutes.
Right. It's still really fresh. Like, I don't think they have the kid's DOB yet. So, I don't know.
Would you expect there to be some sort of retaliation tonight?
It doesn't always happen that quick. Sometimes it does, but it's not regular. It's not something you can bank on. You can probably bank on retaliation, but not necessarily tonight. Guys have long memories.
Yeah. Anything on the scanner? No?
Approximately 15 shots fired in the area. A person down. Our ticket says male, head is busted. Fire rolling.
News came in over the scanner that the victim of the shooting died at the hospital. A young black man, just 18 years old.
How has the way you see the city changed? Because your mental map is littered with crime scenes and instances of people being involved in violence. I mean, do you see the city in the same way?
You know blocks by shootings and gunshot victims, or you know pockets of a neighborhood by what groups are into it with each other. You can't let violence define a location. I've been trying to make like a conscious decision of going to places that I've been for shootings and stuff when other stuff is going on.
Are you ever really able to switch off?
I'd like to slow down maybe a little bit, but we're at 1,400 gunshot victims this year, and every Monday everybody's like, damn, it was a bad weekend. No, it was just a weekend. You expect 36 people to get shot. It wasn't a bad weekend by city standards. That was a normal weekend by city standards. I don't know, like it's hard to feel a difference between like 36 gunshot victims and 46 gunshot victims, right? Like you can only get to so many shootings and it's hard. Like at a certain point, busy is just busy. Like I would, if somebody said, well, no, I think things are getting better or it feels like it's getting better, I would ask for evidence to support that. And there's not evidence to support that. More people are getting shot. More people are getting murdered. You know, just keeps happening. I don't, like, whose responsibility is it when it comes down to it at the end of the day, right? Like, you talk about, like, well, shootings keep happening, and yeah, I recognize that I have probably a more bleak outlook than a lot of people, but when you start looking for, like, solutions, or even if you look to assign responsibility, like, where do you begin?
So it is the 25th of May, and according to this website, there's been 54 homicides this month. And the month isn't even over yet. There's still 6 days left of May, and 54 people have been killed. But the slightly scarier stat here is that this month, on the 25th of May, in 25 days, 252 people have been shot and wounded. 54 killed. That, the numbers are so unreal, it doesn't feel real, and it's quite hard to have a natural reaction to that because it just doesn't compute for me.
In 1933, with the help of God, my grandparents, Reverend and Mrs. A.R. Leak, founded the A.R. Leak Funeral Homes. We would like to thank all of Chicago for 75 years of your trust and support.
Behind every statistic, every killing, is a story. And many of them end here. Hello.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Reggie, nice to meet you.
Hi, Reggie. Close up. Nidra. Nice
Lovely to meet you, Nidra. I didn't know what to expect on the other side of this door, and these are bodies that are waiting to be
dressed, casketed, and cosmetized.
Okay, are there?
So they've already been embalmed.
I didn't think that I would see this many bodies. And I don't imagine that all of these bodies are victims of gunshots, but I'm sure a few of them are.
Yes.
How many gunshot wounds are you seeing come through your door?
Every other day, I would have somebody in here from the medical examiner who's been shot. And it's not just how, it's multiple gunshot wounds. So when you see them coming in here, you're seeing their body, you take them and put them on a table, you finally open up the bag, and you really don't know what's gonna hit you. And then when you see all these holes just everywhere, and violence is just so in your face, it's raw, and you have to deal with this. And you know, a lot of questions are going through your head, like, why? You know, what could this person possibly have done to get you so angry, or get who those individuals are so angry to want to cause this much harm that they want to see them dead? And I have a 3-year-old. I do have a 3-year-old boy. And my concern is I don't want to see him wind up on this table, and it's me opening this bag up, and here's my son to some violence. And it may not have been for him being in a gang. He just could be on the wrong side of town, and they decided, you know what, let's just take our frustrations out on him.
Death is a strange thing to somebody of my age, because I'm in my early 30s now, as more and more my friends are losing their grandparents or losing their parents. And to be here and to be surrounded by death and to be surrounded by stats and numbers that sort of talk about people dying, it's just that, it's stats and conversation until you actually see a body. So if I take a minute outside, is that all right?
Most of those killed in Chicago are under the age of 30. Parents in the south side of the city live with the fear that their children might not live to see adulthood. 20-year-old activist Jamal Green, one of the protesters at the police review board, is performing at a community peace event.
But we must get to a point where we are getting them to commit to change.
His girlfriend Yanni and young son Jamal Jr. are in the crowd.
Hello. And look at his little face. He's a happy little guy, isn't he?
Very. That's all he does is play and smile. So yeah. So, I know you want to talk, man, but wait on your turn.
Just how important is it then to get it right in terms of raising little shouty over here?
Very important. One thing that we see is we lack male leaders in the communities. And so it's been a blessing to have a boy that I can raise up that can, you know, hopefully have his family of his own and take back his community and take back his family, you know, at one point. So
for you, what was it like when you knew that you were having a boy? Obviously you're excited to begin with, but what about the realities of that growing up here?
We're still trying to run away from here. It's like, you know, you can't send them to the park. You can't go to the park in certain neighborhoods. You can't, you know, it's certain things. You're limited in this city about what you can do with your kids, and it's sad.
I always vowed to raise my kids outside of the city. And I vowed that because I said, look, if I can survive Chicago, I want to give my kids and my family a better life.
You have to survive.
You got to survive. And that's the case with everybody, you know, with the drug dealers, the gangbangers, with everybody. Everybody's trying to survive. They're trying to survive through the systemic conditions. But then they're a menace to society, and we're trying to survive not being killed, you know? And everybody in Chicago is in survival mode.
They're worried about their household, and every dollar you make is a dollar that I don't make. So in order for me to make that dollar back, I have to kill you to ensure that I have that profit. And he talked about, you know, conditions, and it's because of the conditions. You know, the mayor just shut down 50 schools on the south side, but they just did a grant to build a new school somewhere up north. I just read in the newspaper a couple days ago. But they said we didn't have any money for schools. And then it goes to the question of whose schools?
Right.
Because we keep saying Chicago, but there are two different Chicagos. You know, there's our Chicago, and then there's the Chicago that people see when they go on tour, when they're here as a tourist. You know, there are just certain neighborhoods that we just don't touch and we don't go into. And the same neighborhoods that we don't touch are the only neighborhoods that the city actually puts money into and puts growth into. They have someone who can go and put stores in their neighborhoods and give their kids jobs. We don't have that, which is why a lot of these parents are letting their kids go out and sell drugs, because that's the only way they can keep their lights on.
Shots fired on the block. She's a lifeless body at location.
22-year-old Lee McCullum was shot and killed last night.
After a troubled period in his teens, Lee ended on top. He was an honor roll student, was crowned as prom king, and was looking forward to college.
An average week at the Leak's funeral home will see the staff bury 2 or 3 gunshot victims. Lee McCullum Jr. was murdered on the 12th of May, making him the 29th person killed that month. Lee had been found in his mother's car with multiple gunshot wounds to the head. Among the mourners is Michael, a family friend who acted as a mentor to Lee Jr.
That's all he wanted to do was play ball. That's all he wanted to do was play ball. He didn't want to do nothing. He wanted to play ball because he was good at it.
For someone who is on the right path, I'm just really struggling to understand how this can happen to him.
It's other people. It's idiots. It's people that have a lack of education, a lack of respect for human lives. It's a lack of fathers. It's a lack of men standing up and being men to their child. Most of their uncles and fathers in prison. And I'm being real honest with you, man. Until we as black men stand up and be men to our wives, our girlfriends, our baby mamas, you know, our nieces and nephews, till they start seeing what a real man is, they gonna do what they gotta do.
Why have the family come in white?
The respect. Just the respect of the know that he was an angel.
Son, as you leave this world, you will be missed. No matter where you go, I want you to know your father loves you. If I could, I would give my life in order to have yours back. I just wish whoever did this, I'm gonna pray for you in a different type of way. All his friends out there and everything, man, fall back. Cause I can't do no more funerals. I thought it was gonna be easy for me to say what I wanna say, so just bear with me. That don't supposed to be. That don't supposed to be. Ain't nowhere in the world that's supposed to be. I've been out here in these streets all my life, shooting, gangbanging. I got 21 years invested in prison. I've been left for dead, thrown in garbage cans. That don't supposed to be. That's supposed to be me. This don't make you no man. This don't make you no G. This don't make you tough. These make you tough. Being a man. Be a man. Be a man.
It's amazing to hear you speak.
Oh man, that was just the tip of the iceberg. I got a couple people because we got word that they gonna try to do something on 115, but we don't know how accurate that is.
When?
So I'm gonna play it in today. Yeah.
And what is it that might happen? What are we talking about here?
Shoot at a car. Somebody shoot at a car, throw something, or try to crash it up. Anything.
Well, that's heartbreaking after everything that we've witnessed today. All of those amazing speeches that were given and statements that were made, it feels as though there are a lot of people that are so heartbroken by what's happened to Lee that they feel the need to do something about it with the same level of force that put Lee in a coffin in the first place.
Two weeks after Lee's murder, there have been no retaliation attacks, but no arrests have been made either. Lee was the 221st person fatally shot in Chicago in 2016. He was the 154th African American killed.
Big Mike.
Hey there.
How you doing, man?
What's going on?
I'm good, thank you. Where should I put the car?
You want to go down there by the stage?
Okay, cool.
His grieving father, Lee Sr., and his friend Michael have agreed to talk about their loss and the young man he was.
He was enthusiastic, free spirit, easygoing, loved life, and Lee loved basketball. All of us got trophies. He always tried to outdo me.
Can I see his trophies?
Yeah, sure can, no problem.
Yeah. So what happened to your leg?
I was breaking up a fight, got shot, and had to amputate my leg. Wasn't doing nothing. Wasn't bothering nobody. Got into a fight, breaking up a fight with my nephew.
And they amputated your leg? I mean...
Yeah, because I got shot. They had to lost circulation. I also got shot in the head in 2008, picking my son up from a Halloween party. Right here. Wasn't doing nothing. Somebody was shooting at somebody else. I turned the corner, caught a bullet.
You don't even seem angry about it. Are you? Or have you just got
I
past
was
the anger?
angry.
Right.
I'm angry about my son. That's what I'm angry about, my son. Now, this the one, basketball, yeah, but I went cross country because I told him he could do it. I said, you got the stamina to run up and down that court. You can win cross country.
Yeah.
Never trained for it or nothing and won it.
Wow. So with him being so naturally gifted at sports, do you think that that could have been a part of his future?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. He gone. And none of them dreams can be fulfilled. I got a little grandbaby I gotta take care of. And I'm gonna miss him so much. It just hurts that he gone. And I feel like I failed because he lost his life.
It hurt. It's gonna always hurt. It's gonna always hurt. And just trying to change some of the stuff that's going on, because I can actually say and go on camera and tell you that Lee Sr. and Sr. are good parents, good fathers, role models. They ain't been the best, but you gotta do what you got to do for your child.
I just wish I was there. He could have called me or anything, because I don't know what his last moments were. Was he still alive when he was laying on the ground? None of that.
The last thing you want is retaliation on your son's behalf. But you can't stop these kids from doing something. You can only tell them what you like.
You can't. See, you just hope and pray that no retaliation happens. You let the police do what they need to do. Let them do an investigating, let they do what they gotta do.
So you think the kids won't listen to you? These friends?
I hope they listen. But if they don't, that's the road they have to go down.
So how has the violence got to this level?
You got so much going on, it ain't just one issue. It's not no one issue. Fire the police department, ain't no trust there. Ain't no trust with Chicago police departments. It ain't no trust there. They done hurt the black community so bad, you can't put a Band-Aid on that.
What's wrong with the system, do you think, Mike?
It's broke. It always been broke. You can't fix something that's broke. You got to replace it. It's over with it. It's broke. Ain't nothing you can do. People don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. Well, ain't no more colleges. Ain't no more money. Ain't no more money for nothing. I don't know who got the money, who took the money, but ain't no more money for nothing. You can look around. People ain't got money. People depend on the government to help them out. But if the government hurting you and making you do certain things, then you got to go by what you get from them because you asking them for help. So this the law of the land of the other man. We just pawns. We just pawns. Can't do nothing about that. And you talking about the system broke. Been broke.
This place keeps throwing things at me that I'm not prepared for. Just before I left the house, Lee Senior showed me a picture of Lee Junior on the I don't even know what you call it, the autopsy table, the doctor's table. I don't know what it is because I've never had to deal with anything like that before. But basically, I was showed a picture of his son riddled with bullet wounds. And the last picture he showed me was his face with a huge bullet wound here, and all manner of How do you protect that kid? If you live here and that's your boy riding around on some girl's pink girly bicycle, how do you ensure that that kid stays safe? You can do as much as you want to, or as much as you are physically able. But if this is your block, if this is your street, no matter how much you instill in that child, you still have to let them go to school. They still have to, at some point, be outside of your watchful eye. Just because of where you live, that might be the reason why your child doesn't live to see adulthood. It's because you let them go to the shop on their own. Or even worse, one of their friends is involved in something they shouldn't be, or someone they go to class with is involved in something criminal. And by association, they either end up shot or worse. You know, we're on a main street that has potholes all over it, and every other shop is closed down. There's a building over there that's blocked up. This is a place that is sending signals to kids that no one cares about this area. And I guess it sends the signal that no one really cares about you. So what does that lead to? If you're a child and you're continuously being told by everything you're surrounded by that you don't matter, by the time you're in your teens or early 20s, why are you going to care about your own life, let alone somebody else's?
What hope is there for Chicago? In a city plagued by police brutality and the chaos of black-on-black violence, who'll speak up for the next generation? A group of fathers, fraternity brothers, are taking to the streets of Englewood, where almost 250 people have already been shot this year.
Put the guns down! Put the guns down! Put the guns down! Put the guns down! Save our youth! Save our youth! Save our youth! Save our youth! Stop the violence! Stop the violence! Save our youth!
It seems as though everywhere that the fraternity are going, they're getting a reaction that it's kind of emotional, really. You've got people in cars honking their horns, shouting along. People are coming out to their windows and they're joining in. I guess it's a real simple message and it seems to be resonating.
Stop the violence! Stop the violence! Put the guns down! Put the guns down! Save our youth! Save our youth!
How old's your son?
6 years old.
What's his name?
What's
your name?
Tice.
Tice. Nice to meet you, little man. So what's it like bringing up a boy in this environment?
I'm on top of everything.
Yeah.
You know, I keep him involved with sports activities to raise him to be a man.
Well, he's only 6 years old.
He's only 6 years old.
Him being on a march like this sends what kind of message to him, do you think?
Oh, it's gonna stick with him for the rest of his life.
Yeah?
This message here. You can only imagine. You know, things that you experienced at 6 years old, you still remember.
Right.
While we was walking, approaching 67th Street, a guy just got shot on 70th and Commons, and it shows that we have to have a greater presence. Maybe they didn't hear us when we were saying, put the guns down, stop the violence. They didn't hear that. So we got to be louder next time because it's a brother on Loomis fighting for his life right now. And we just walked past there.
We have to get ahead of the problem. That's the key. Get ahead of the problem, get our youth while they're young, and cut the source off that's feeding this violence in this community. All of us are here because something was said, done for you to save your life and get you to this point. Do the same things that saved your life. Do it for not just one kid, not just for two kids, do it exponentially. And if each and every last one of us standing out here today do those things for more than just one kid, more than just your kid, more than just your kid. Do it for well, I don't have any kids, you know, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
The protest is in honor of Mike, who lost his daughter Tiara to the gun violence. 23 years old, an innocent young woman killed by a stray bullet.
I was at a funeral. The kid that was in the casket had been shot.
What was his
by
name?
black and black violence, Lee.
Lee McCullough.
Yeah, that's correct.
You want to know something? That was the boyfriend of my daughter that was killed.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. He was shot and killed 3 weeks after her.
After she passed.
People think it's not their problem until that problem knocks on your door. See, I work law enforcement, deputy sheriff. I risk my life every day for the citizens in this city, in this county, in this everywhere. I risk my life daily. And I did everything that I thought was right and possible
to raise my daughter, to give her a chance, to shield her from the violence, thinking, oh, my daughter, she went to college, she's got a life together, she doesn't have to worry about the violence that's happening in here, but it still touched my door. And I tell people all the time, it's gonna touch your door if you don't get up and do something. It will get to you. Sooner or later, it's gonna come to your door.
Save our youth! Save our youth! Save our youth! Save our youth! Stop the violence! Stop the violence! Stop the violence! Stop the violence! Put the guns down! Put the guns down! Put the guns down! Put the guns down!
Tierra and Lee Jr. were two young, connected lives lost out of hundreds on the streets of Chicago. Victims of the deadly combination of guns and deprivation that's fueling segregation and prejudice. Tensions that are ripping the country apart.
I think in a city like Chicago, you see that separation and that division, not only in terms of racial groups, but in terms of wealth, that you really start to understand what America is really all about.
The realization is that for many, the American dream is now just about survival.
To be in Chicago, particularly here in the South Side, I think the toughest thing to have is hope.